Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel. And the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. This is another one of a series of reviews, pen reviews that I've been doing for the last little while I'm on vacation. You're viewing this review because I'm somewhere in Europe, either in France, in Spain, or my home country, Italy. And I'm sure I'm enjoying the vacation, or at least I'm anticipating that I am. I've of course filmed all of these ahead of time so that you can continue to see some of my reviews while I'm away, and I'm hoping you're having a great summer and enjoying your fountain pens. Now today I have a little bit of a controversial pen for you. I call it a controversial pen because I have mixed feelings, and that of course is the Lamy 2000. It's an iconic pen. Everybody keeps telling me that this is, in fact, should form part of your pen collection. It's a must for everyone. It's a marvel in design, etc., etc., etc. But is it made for everybody? Do I like this pen? Do I enjoy the writing experience of this pen? What about that small nib? Does it give me that gold nib writing experience? Well, folks, stay tuned. The Lamy 2000 and some of the details. I think when we speak of the Lamy 2000, we must take a look at the marvel in the design of this pen. Designed by a gentleman by the name of Gerd Müller. And here are some of the features, and I figure what better way but to look at their website. As you could see, that's the nib, and we'll take a look at it in a second. There it is, that wonder that everybody keeps talking about. And you can see the finial there. You can see some of the O-rings close to that, that ink window. There you have the caps, whether you're dealing with a ballpoint or a roller pen or the fountain pen. You can see some of the section of the nib. And there you have the knob on top, etc., 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 etc. And we'll take a look at my version, the one I purchased. Let me just here get closer. It came in this box, and as you can tell, this box was originally contained a brod, and I'm so glad that I bought this pen. Well, yes and no. At the very least, I chose to buy this pen at a local pen store, so that because I was not sure about the size of the nib I should get, and thank God I did. So originally I purchased the broad, and it was an absolute disaster for me. I then purchased the fine, and I didn't like it. And then I went back and I got the medium. So although the box says broad, I paid it $200 Canadian, which is a fairly good price actually. So I shouldn't complain about the price. It comes in this little box. Here you have it. Fairly simple. made in Germany design. That's the warranty from the local pen store, which is stilo.ca, with the guarantee here in Montreal. Then there's a brochure taking a look at different pens, the filling mechanisms, etc., which is typical. And there is the pen. I chose it in this black. In hindsight, I really like, there's a blue version. I should have gotten that blue version. Everybody has the black version. So it's kind of, the blue would have been nice. But I got to tell you, they did not have the blue when I was in the store. So here it is. First thing to notice is that beautiful material that they use. Very, very nice. This stone-washed, clip. I mean, this thing was designed in 1966. And when you look at it today, it almost has a modern design, even in today's standards. So it's kind of survived the test of time. It is a design marvel, no doubt. That clip is so soft and springy. The material gives it some weight, but not too heavy. Nice shiny finial right on top there. It's got that, that button brush steeled nib at the bottom. It's got that satisfying snap to it to reveal these two little teeth here, right here, one on one side, one on the other, which when you cap it, gives you that little click. Very, very satisfying, I must say. Some people get annoyed by these two little clips. I find it most interesting. In fact, may be helping me in my writing experience, and I'll explain that in a few seconds. Let's just take a look at the pen here. It's kind of got a typical shape, or seen before anyway. It's got that ink window. Some people get irritated, but I think it works just fine. It is thicker at the bottom and then kind of slims out to the finial, and it slims down to this section. Little slippery, but surprisingly nice. Would I prefer the flare? Yeah, but then you're changing the design of that pen. Again, that brush steel, very, very nice. To reveal that small tip of a nib. It's got a low ink draw hole, so you don't need to put the whole pen in ink, just over that little hole, and you can fill your pen nicely. So that's very, very convenient. Does it post? Yes, it posts very, very comfortably. So in terms of feel, this pen feels very nicely. In terms of quality, I mean, it can't be beat, okay? In terms of design, it's 10 on 10. In terms of materials, it's 10 on 10. And yet, I hate this pen. And I got to tell you why. I don't know if I'm the only one, but this pen, as iconic as it may be, I think deserves a place in my pen collection. I mean, I've waited almost 10 years to get it. And I think I'm going to keep this pen. I don't think I'll ever sell it just because of its iconic qualities, okay? And its design. It's just perfect in terms of design. But that nib is just a living adventure. I'm just hoping that one day I will be able to write with this pen. And you'll see in my writing example why. But that's the pen in a nutshell. And, I could have gone into the history and gone through, look at all the materials. But you've seen this. I just wanted to give you my opinion of this pen. And for somebody, some beginner who hasn't ordered this pen yet, maybe my review will give you some insight as to whether or not this pen is actually made for you. Like I said, if you can afford the $200, I think it should form part of any pen collector's collection. It's a must. But if you're looking for a pen to use on a daily basis, to become your daily writer, go-to pen, no matter what, and be satisfied with it, you've got to know a couple of facts, and you've got to make sure it's a pen for you. So there's the pen. I think we've seen it. Let's compare it. I've taken out some just random pens, all of which I enjoy more than this one, and all of which I think are all less expensive than this one. So what do I have? Well, let's start from the top. This is an 1860 Max Dieman. This is a Lotus Wave. This is a Nettuno 1911. This is a Jinao, and now I forget the number, but is it 82? I believe. I forget. I will post it up. So I apologize for that. But it's meant to be an imitation of the Lamy 2000. Pretty good one, but very cheap. And this is my Omas Vintage Extra Pen, which I paid great price, less than this this Lamy 2000. So those are the pens capped. Okay, here are the pens uncapped and unposted. As you can see, the Lamy is on the smaller side. It's a little bit bigger than my Omas. You can see the imitation here. The Jinao imitation is exactly the same size. Different nibbing, of course. You've got the Nettuno, you've got the Lotus, and you've got the Dieman. This is a 18 karat gold nib. This is a 14 karat gold nib. There you have it. That's the comparison of the pens uncapped. Here are the pens posted, and I think this is where some of the magic of this pen, if you can write with it, the Lamy that is, here's where it appears. The other pens are not the greatest posters, let's put it that way. The imitation posts just as well, but it is an imitation. My Omas is a lot lighter, so it posts a little bit at the tip, but it also posts nicely. But this Lamy 2000, if you know how to write with it, is just a perfect, comfortable posted pen. One of the highlights of this pen, in my view. So there you have it. We'll look at some measurements, and we'll be back with that writing sample, and hopefully I will be able to demonstrate to you why this pen is not made for me. Realized one of the things I didn't show you, and I should have, was the marvel of this capping, or the piston filler. I'm opening it up now, okay, and when it's opened, there it is. And one second, we'll take it out just because I do want to show you this. There you go. It's opened up, and when you close it, now I'm going to see, I don't want to spill anything here, because I'm not sure I filled it. You know what, let me just make sure I haven't filled it here. Yeah, okay. I apologize. I should have mentioned this. I just, look at that. You cannot see the, you just barely see it when you open it up. There you go, you see it. And then once you close it, it's gone. It's gone, folks. I mean, I have bad eyesight, but, I just can't see it. So, beautifully, I mean, to have this perfection, you cannot feel it at all. It is a design marvel. Now, having said that, so let me just fill this pen. I'm filling it up with Lamy ink. This way, you know, nobody can say I didn't fill it up with, you know, if any ink should work properly in this pen, it should be a Lamy ink, I would think. Cleans up very nicely, by the way. Just, you know, cleans up very, very nice. Okay, so I've inked that up. And of course that ink is Lamy Azurite. Okay, just for those who didn't recognize it, it's Lamy Azurite. I'm using this Tomoe River paper. Okay. Galen leather notepad. I will post it. And the reason for it is I think the posting, I got one viewer, actually another YouTuber, who gave me a little tip on how to use this pen. But we'll see where this thing gets me. Now, I'm going to try to just be natural with the use of this pen, and hopefully it will skip, and I'll show you why. Okay, so this is the Lamy 2000. Yeah, it didn't feel right there. It's the black. There again, I'm not enjoying it. The nib is that 14K gold nib. The ink is the Lamy Azurite. Now, I just don't enjoy writing with this pen. Now, it hasn't skipped on me, but you know, long session it will. I've been told that I have a tendency to keep my nib turned. So let me just, yeah, here we go. If I keep that nib turned, it may skip on me. Or if I, you know, it's like I need to keep that nib absolutely on its sweet spot, because if you don't write with it on its sweet spot, it'll skip on you. Okay, look at that. You see the skipping there? You see the skipping there? Because I turned my nib, and if I turn it the other way, it writes very nicely because I'm closer to the sweet spot. But take a look at that. You see how it skips on me? Whereas any other nib, when I write with it, will not skip on me. Whoops, you've missed all that. Yeah, let me just, okay. You see all the skips of this pen? That's because I cannot write with it. Now, one viewer said, try to put your fingers on those two knobs. That will kind of keep the sweet spot. In other words, the nib will be straighter. But I mean, I can't keep my fingers there and write with this pen. It's loose. The grip is not comfortable. So another person said, that was another YouTuber, Love of Pens, or Love You Pen, I forget, Love and Pens, I forget what the woman's name is, but she said, kind of line up your clip, and to the point where if you use the clip, you'll line up your nib with the sweet spot. But, I mean, do I have to, you know, what's next? Do I have to, you know, do pirouettes and jumping jacks to get this pen to write? I mean, I want to pick up a pen and just write with it. And I realized that hidden nib with that small sweet spot As smooth as it may be and as nice as anybody might think that this pen is, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. It's just an awful writing experience for me. I mean, if this thing had a normal nib with the rest of the pen, it'd be one of my favorite. But I just don't know what to do with this pen. You know, look, I write with it and I say, wow, take a look how smooth it is. Oh, I'm okay. Then, you know, I will, and then all of a sudden it'll skip on me because I've turned it, or it's not perfect. I mean, I got to keep this thing straight, the sweet spot. I mean, look at the sweet spot, folks. I mean, look how small that is. I can't have a great writing experience with this Lamy 2000, and it's just, and it just frustrates me to no end. So, you know, I'm not going to go through the likes and the dislikes of this pen. I mean, this pen is an iconic pen. It's a design wonder. The materials used, the way it's built, you know, the whole, how it's put together, all of its features. I mean, for $200, it's worth every single penny. But folks, I can tell you, if you have a tendency to keep your nib, you know, to slightly down this way or the other way, and you don't write with your nib perfectly straight, as it, you know, like that, and if you tendency to turn it one way or another, or if in writing, by the time you start here, you turn your nib, this is not for you. It is just not for you. And that's why I think I had a bold, and I thought it was a disaster. But it wasn't the broad that was the disaster. It was the fact that it was skipping on me. Then I tried the fine. I said, oh my God, this thing skips. So I brought it back and I got the medium. I think medium ultimately is okay because the broad was a bit too thick. Okay. But there you have it. It's a nice line. Okay. It's actually very wet and it is smooth. So that's okay. The medium is okay. It wasn't the nib the problem. The problem was me. I just couldn't write with this thing. So, you know, folks, and you know, I gave it a go. I gave it a try. I used it. I just can't be bothered with it. I know I will never write with this pen. I will pick it up from time to time just to see if my fingers kind of magically learned how to write with this pen. But it's just too bad, you know. If it had just a normal gold nib, this pen would be one of my favorite. But it doesn't. So there you have it. Sorry, I don't know if I've insulted anybody. Let me just take a sip. What can I tell you? It's a design wonder and it's an awful writer. I can't be bothered with turning my nib and I've got to, you know, line up my clip or hold those two little knobs. I mean, come on, guys. It's a $200 pen. If I can't pick it up and write with it, then, you know, there's no point in having it. Like I said, as a collector, I think it's a must. I have it. It's part of my collection. If anybody asks, do you have a Lamy 2000? I'm going to say I have one, but that's about it. Sorry, I just cannot say it's a go-to pen. Do I recommend it? It's a design wonder. Since 1966, everybody raves about it. Can I say don't buy it because I can't write with it? No. Can I, if you ask me, do you like it? Absolutely not. Do you enjoy the writing experience? Awful. Are you going to be writing with this pen? Never. Sorry, folks, but that's the way it's going to be. Now, in my recap, I said I won't give up on it. I will from time to time pick it up and just, you know, our pen styles vary. You know, over time, I've noticed that just the way I hold the pen, the way I write with pens has changed. Hopefully, I will learn. Hopefully, I will be able to share what many of you share with this pen, which is a great writing experience. For the time being, it's going to be in my drawer, folks. Grazie molto. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed that. It's just my point of view. It's a pen that's been reviewed by, dozens and dozens of people, no doubt. I wanted to give you my point of view, and there you have it. Grazie molto. Arrivederci. Alla prossima. See you next time. Subscribe. Click, please. Take care. Bye now.